My comment stems from policies promoting the idea that there exists universal and systemic racism among whites, universal victimization among blacks, and that the solution is for authorities to treat individuals based on their skin color to ensure equality of outcome. My entire comment quotes and paraphrases Bob Woodson, whose life's work is to help people lift themselves up. Bob founded the Woodson Center in D.C. and the 1776 Unity Project, which is a movement to liberate millions of Americans by helping them become agents of their own uplift by embracing the founding values of our country. One of the big myths of social justice warriors is that the problems facing Black Americans, out-of-wedlock births, violence, poor health outcomes, are the legacy of slavery and discrimination, and that the answer is ending white oppression. This is the lie that is being perpetrated. Bob points to the achievements of blacks in the years following slavery when racism was systemic. According to Woodson, when whites were at their worst, blacks were at their best. Between 1920 to 1940, the education gap in the South placed whites at the 8th grade level when blacks were at the 5th grade level. Booker T built 5,000 schools, and within 20 years, the education gap was narrowed from 3 years to 6 months. Mr. Woodson asks, if they could do that, why can't we close the education gap when we spend more and blacks are running many of these systems? Mr. Woodson points out that 17 blacks who were born slaves died millionaires. When blacks were denied access to hotels, they built their own. During the Depression, blacks had the highest marriage rate of any group. Bob teaches that it is demeaning to blacks to tell them that their success depends on what whites do. Mr. Woodson also discusses the harm done in the 1960s when Cloward and Piven, two liberal sociologists, wrote that one way we can move the country towards socialism and redistribution of income is to flood the system with welfare recipients. And after the Watts riots, they said, well, in the black community, we need to separate work from income, replace it with welfare, make the fathers redundant, and without fathers in the home, you will see school dropout rates increase, drug addiction, all the pathologies that we're witnessing. This is what they deliberately did. Since the left is using race as a battering ram to tear this country apart, we use the black community as a counter-offensive. We tell kids they need to hear from blacks in their communities with a counter message, that the people they are hearing from are not a monolithic voice in the black community. Thousands of blacks defend the values of this nation, but their voices are not heard. We provide resources to give voice to that silent majority in the black community. The left purports to be the only legitimate protectors of blacks. We arm people to speak for themselves. We hire ex-drug addicts and gang members who, through God's grace, have been transformed. It's the embrace of the values of this nation that has a powerful effect in transforming lives. In all of the wars, not a single black who fought was guilty of treason. The 1619 Project says all those sacrifices were misguided. All the sacrifices of the Tuskegee Airmen, the Black Panthers Tank Corps, the Triple Nickel Paratroopers, the Montford Black Marines, the 54th. I just would like to say I'm grateful for the dedication, honesty, wisdom, and patriotism of Mr. Bob Woodson. Thank you.